Ever feel like you're doing all the right things and still wondering why your body feels off? You eat well, you train hard, your labs say you're fine, but deep down you know something's slipping. You're not alone and you're not crazy. I'm Daniel Rasmussen, founder of Echelon Center for Longevity, and I've spent 2 decades helping high performers like you to reverse aging, reignite vitality, and finally get answers. On Unbreakable Vitality, we go upstream. We talk peptides, stem cells, precision diagnostic testing, reversing the age of your arteries, all the innovative science-based tools to take back your health span so that your next decades are your best yet. Because aging is real, but decline is optional. All right. Welcome to Unbreakable Vitality, the show where we don't guess about health, we decode it. I'm your host, Daniel Rasmussen, and today we're diving into a topic that's long overdue for myth busting, and that is detoxification. So now, before we get into the real science, a quick heads up. Our next Ageless Future Longevity Summit is coming up fast. The next one is the 22nd of January, and then the next one after that in February is February 19th. These live monthly events in Seattle bring together the best in regenerative medicine, peptide science, detox mastery, and age reversal strategy, all in one immersive day. If you're ready to take action instead of just absorbing information, go to agelessfutureseattle.com and apply to attend. We have very limited seats per event. So, okay, now on to the show. We are living in a world overloaded with toxins. Would you agree? Yeah, we're breathing in pollutants, slathering on all kinds of chemicals on our skin, eating pesticides, cooking on cookware with forever chemicals, absorbing mold spores, getting microplastics, wearing clothing that's made out of plastic and getting that plastic in our skin, in our inside of our body. Heavy metals abound, and that's just on Monday. But here's the truth. Detoxification is not a juice cleanse. It's not a run to the toilet with urgency diarrhea. It's not 3 days of celery. It's not colonics, and it's not forcing your body to just flush it all out. Real detoxification is a cellular, phased process. And when it's done right, it's one of the most powerful anti-aging levers that we have. So in today's episode, we're going to break it down. We're going to meet where science meets the rubber of the road and the difference between detox and drainage. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about what the signs are to watch for when your detox systems are clogged up and your drainage systems are clogged and congested. The ageless detox stack that we use clinically and why most wellness detox plans fail. We're even going to talk on how proper detoxification opens the door for age reversal therapies to actually work better. And we'll talk peptides, the cellular concierge molecules that can reboot your gut, your mitochondria, your liver without blowing out your system. So let's get into it. So most people think detox is about just pushing toxins out, right? But real detox starts by opening those pathways inside your body. And that's the key difference between drainage and detoxification. Drainage is your body's ability to move waste through your liver, your kidneys, your lymph, out the skin and the colon. And if these systems are sluggish, any attempts to deeper detoxification, it just backfires. The toxins don't leave, they just recirculate. Here's how we break it down here at Ageless Future. Drainage has got to come first. We prep the terrain using bitters, binders, hydration, movement, and gut support. Then and only then do we begin the cellular detoxification. You got to have energy in the mitochondria to detox. If you start pushing toxins out of the cells and your mitochondria can't process those toxins out of the cell, again, you're just going to circulate it intracellularly through the blood and then back into the organs and the tissues, creating a double hit of toxic inflammation. Think of it, where like a house. Let's use the analogy of a house. Drainage is unclogging the plumbing. Detox is cleaning the rooms. If your plumbing's blocked, all that cleaning just floods the basement. In functional medicine, we call this the Herxheimer response, where people feel worse before they feel better. But in most cases, that reaction can be avoided by by sequencing things properly. In our clinical model, drainage also includes peptide support. Here we are again at BPC 157 to reduce gut inflammation and repair the mucosal lining, KPV to suppress immune overactivation and reduce intestinal permeability. These peptides don't detox per se, but they create the conditions for safe detox by sealing and soothing the gut-brain barrier. So what's that? Once that's in place, we can move on to the next phase, which is mobilizing toxins out of the tissues. And so your body, we'll talk about that here in a second, what that looks like. Your body really speaks in symptoms. When it's presenting a symptom, that's your body trying to tell you something. And especially when waste builds up faster than you can get rid of it, that's where a lot of symptoms will show up. And it's not what you think. It's not what you think. Here are the red flags we look for and suggest for you that your detox systems are stalled. Fatigue that sleep doesn't fix. Skin rashes, acne, or hives. Food sensitivities that seem to multiply over time. And sensitivity to perfumes, cleaners, moldy spaces. Bloating, sluggish bowel movements, or mucus in the stool. Brain fog, mood swings, trouble focusing. We talked about brain health on the last episode, so this is going to be tying in and segueing nicely. But you might also notice that your sweat smells a little different, or you don't sweat much at all. That's a lymphatic issue. Maybe you get headaches when you fast or starting a new supplement, and that's your liver crying for help. So many of these symptoms, they really do get misdiagnosed as just getting older, just aging, anxiety, or some weird autoimmune disease. But at Ageless Future, we ask a better question. Where is this coming from? We use functional longevity blood work and symptom mapping to assess your liver enzymes, your gallbladder markers, uric acid levels, your gut microbiome activity via a stool test, glutathione levels, very important, mitochondrial energy output. And when we overlay that with all the symptoms that you're experiencing, all those patterns, we get a high resolution view of how well you're detoxing or not. The bottom line, if you feel like your body is working against you, it might be a waste, not a weakness. So let's talk about how we fix that and the peptide stack that we use to restore safe detoxification. Our medical team here is phenomenal. So we've run thousands of clients through this detox protocol, and the results speak for themselves. It works because it's sequenced, it's layered, and it's based on actual biology. So here's how we do it. Phase 1, we prep and open drainage. Very, very important. Then we use binders. After it's pushed out, those binders help trap the toxins in the gut, things like charcoal, zeolite, fulvic acids, and then bitters and bile movers to flush the liver and the gallbladder. Then you just start pounding water with electrolytes. Keep that lymphatic circulation and the bowels moving. Peptides like BPC 157, KPV for gut prep, motility, and inflammation. And then phase 2 comes in. That was all just phase 1. Phase 2, you got to mobilize and then detoxify. Mitochondrial primers like NAD+, CoQ10C peptide all energize the cells and prepare them to expel the waste. Now, then we give some liver support, a little bit of TUDCA, glutathione, milk thistle. We use AOD 9604 to stimulate lymphatic circulation flow, support metabolic detoxification for fat stores, activating white fat into brown fat. So what AOD 9604 does. And then it's time for phase 3, eliminate and restore. So infrared sauna, dry brushing. We use 5-amino-1-MQ to support fat-based toxin mobilization and promote mitochondrial cleanup. GHK copper peptide is a favorite for our medical team, used for tissue healing and anti-inflammatory signal resolution. Then it's time for motility support, magnesium, ginger, bitters, hydration. All of this cycled in the 30-day intervals with retesting, coaching, and feedback loops. Why does it work? Because it respects biology. It supports the terrain before pushing for results. and it keeps you functional, not flattened. Throughout the whole process, you can function. Now, I want to talk about why most detoxes fail and how we protect clients from the crash and burn model of the wellness world. So most people who have done a detox either felt nothing or felt worse. And here's why. There's no drainage prep. You started mopping the floor with the drain still clogged up. There was no binders. Toxins get stirred up but have nowhere to go, so they just recirculate. No mitochondrial support. You need energy to detox. If your mitochondria are struggling, your detox process is going to stall. And no exit strategy. So you stopped cold, leaving toxins midstream, or you relied on diuretics, laxatives, or starvation, none of which will remove cellular waste. Even worse, some of the biggest influencers are still pushing these 3-day detoxes, teas, or juices only cleanses that overload your liver and spike your blood sugar. It's not your fault. The marketing is slick. But that's why we use Ageless Future framework. It's all about prepare the system, clear the drainage, support the cells, then safely release the waste. That's the last step. You should never feel wrecked by a detox. You should feel clearer, cleaner, stronger, and that's exactly what happens when you do it right. So how does this detox strategy fit into our broader age reversal protocol? And how is it the gateway to deeper healing? I want to talk about that next. So if you are inflamed, constipated, or toxic, nothing else you do will work the way it should. That's why detox is the foundation of our Accelerate Wellness program. It's the reset phase, where we clear the junk, reestablish communication between the systems, and turn off the alarms so your body can finally listen. Detox is what allows you those peptides then on the next phase to start activating without resistance. Stem cells to land in a receptive, friendly environment. Hormones start to regulate without chaos. Mitochondria start to breathe and respirate again. And when your cells are swimming in sludge, everything slows down. Detox clears that space for restoration, regeneration, rebuilding, and healing. Just from detoxing, we've had clients lose 15 to 30 pounds, and many of their autoimmune symptoms just disappear. They feel years younger just by unlocking the pipes. Their bodies wanted to heal. They just couldn't get the memo. And as a bonus, detox reduces senescent cells, strips biofilm, and even improves brain function. So if you're feeling stuck, inflamed, or like your body's holding on to the past, detox isn't the whole story, but it's where your story starts. So let's wrap it up for today's episode. If this hit home for you and you're ready to stop guessing and start clearing, come join us at the next Ageless Future Longevity Summit in Seattle. We'll walk you through this full detox stack, show you the protocols, the peptides, the sequencing, and even the labs we use to measure success. Go to agelessfutureseattle.com and request your invitation now. Because the future of medicine isn't just about adding more, it's about clearing space to heal. We'll see you next time. If you're feeling like your energy, your edge, or your clarity just isn't what it used to be, you're not alone. But you're also not stuck. Every week on Unbreakable Vitality, we explore real strategies to reverse aging, reclaim vitality, and rewrite what's possible. If today's episode gave you even one insight, pass it on. Then go take the free vascular age quiz at echelon-longevity.com/quiz to see how your body's aging. Subscribe, leave a review, and follow us because your future isn't on autopilot. You are building it and you're just getting started.